Welcome! When I say to you, Simpsons driving game, I dare say your mind instantly goes to Radical Entertainment's stupendous The Simpsons Hit and Run. But what if I was to tell you the same studio made a driving game before it? 2 years before, actually. With The Simpsons Road Rage. You may have heard of it. You probably haven't played it. Let me tell you a little bit so you can decide if you want to.
Get 'em!
Now, the first thing I need to tell you is that if you've played Crazy Taxi, you've more or less played this game. It has been unanimously described as a Crazy Taxi clone, so much so that Sega, who owned the rights to Crazy Taxi, brought a lawsuit to the creators of the game as they were the owners of the Crazy Taxi IP, and they said it was a patent infringement, as the gameplay was nearly identical. Same game engine, same everything. The case eventually did not go to court. It was settled for an undisclosed amount in mediation, and I've searched and searched the internet and I cannot find any further information anywhere. However, if it was settled, Sega must have had a point. And honestly, playing the game, you'll see it. This came out on the PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, the GameCube, and there was even a Game Boy Advance version, which isn't actually too bad. If you get a chance to give it a go, it's alright for a laugh. There are 3 modes you can play. Now, in each mode, you get the choice to play as either Homer, Bart, Lisa, or Marge. However, you do get to unlock additional Springfield characters as you go, and they all have their own individual wacky motormobiles. Choose from one of 3 play modes. The first of all is Sunday Drive. This is the most relaxed mode of Road Rage, but it is worth playing, as it lets you have a nice, good look at the Springfield sandbox upon which the entire game takes place, with no timer, and you can still do the missions where you pick up the characters and take them from A to B. It's actually quite good fun, because the Springfield sandbox this is set in is quite well done. It's not as in-depth as Hit and Runs, but this was 2 years earlier. But it's still nice. There's plenty of Easter eggs to find from the TV show, especially if you were watching it around the time that this game was made, when I dare say it was probably slightly better than it is now, but it's still good. Graphically, obviously, remember it's a PlayStation 2 game. I would say it's average for the time, certainly not bad. The driving mechanics I would personally describe as quite good. They're fairly responsive. For the most part, driving round's good fun. I didn't have any major issues with it at all. So, considering this is a driving game, the fact they got the mechanics right, it's a sign of things being done right. The second game mode you will find is missions. These won't last terribly long for you, but they're also relatively good fun. Driving as Willie in his tractor and running over news booths to avoid spread of disinformation from Mr. Burns, getting Homer to work nice and quickly without him being noticed, driving as a very drunk Barney to destroy all the capital city goofballs because he's drunk and that's what you gotta do. They're okay, I quite enjoy them to be fair, and you do get a bonus car when you complete it. You get the car that Homer designed himself in the episode Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?, where Homer's brother Herb is voiced by Danny DeVito.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the car designed for the average man, the Homer.
It's a nice little bonus. And if you're going to play them anyway, because they're quite good fun, why not? There's also local multiplayer if you've got a second PS2 or whatever console you choose to play remote and someone to play with you. It's alright for a laugh for sort of 20 minutes, half an hour maybe. And of course you've then got the main game mode, cleverly called Road Rage, the title of the game. It works. As with Crazy Taxi, your goal is simple. Pick up as many people as you can, get them to their destinations before the time runs out. Once you pick up somebody and get them to their destination, you are rewarded with money, you are rewarded with a driver rating, and you get additional time to allow you to seek out another fare and then get that one completed as well. It's very much arcade style, as Crazy Taxi was, so short bursts of gameplay as opposed to one long game. It's initially quite good fun picking up the different characters. Whoever you choose to drive as, say Homer for example, if you pick up Bart or Milhouse, they'll recognise each other and have a brief conversation. and initially just for general reasons for picking them up. For example, Mrs. Krabappel, I've had a terrible day, get me to a bar. Pick up Chief Wiggum, get me to the Maison Derriere. The game's been written by the Simpsons people and it's voiced by the voice actors, and it shows. It's a nice thing to have. I will say the dialogue does get rather repetitive rather quickly, but that's something you have to accept for a game of the time. Story-wise, considering it is from The Simpsons, it's quite bare bones really. When you start, you get a cutscene which explains it all, but in short, Mr. Burns has bought the entire transit system for Springfield. And part of Mr. Burns' purchases are the buses, which he's replaced with radioactive ones, and, well, they're quite obviously dangerous to the public health.
Behold the Burns Atomic Megabus. Faster, cheaper, and completely safe.
Please kill me.
Therefore, the citizens of Springfield have got no choice other than to use their own vehicles. Mr. Burns doesn't like this, so when you are driving around, not only will you have to look out for these radioactive buses, but he will try to ram you off the road in his limo.
What's the meaning of this? Throw that infernal contraption in the landfill and ride my bus.
And whilst you can't destroy your car, he could obviously prevent you hitting your destination in the time you need to, therefore causing you to fail early. The goal of the citizens of Springfield is very simple. Earn enough money to buy back the transit system from Mr. Burns, get rid of those dangerous radioactive buses, and let all return to normal. The total you need? $1 million. It does take quite a bit of time to earn this amount. However, when you do get a special cutscene, which I'd love to show you, but I've not completed the game yet, so I can't. It's probably on YouTube if you want to see it. It does keep you coming back for more and more. As I said, the game is very arcade-like, with each run only lasting a short amount of time. However, this is probably the main problem with the game. Even in the PlayStation 2 6th generation era, and certainly now, we've come to expect quite a bit more than our games. We expect maybe a longer experience, or certainly something a bit more immersive than just 5 to 10 minutes of playtime, which does get repetitive, I'm afraid to say. And that's about it. The only thing that carries over is unlocking the characters, but aside from some dialogue choices and obviously the cosmetics, it doesn't really make any difference to gameplay. Even most roguelikes now, which are the best example I can give of something where you keep repeating levels, they have more to offer in terms of world building, gameplay, story, variety, etc. I don't think the problem is with this game necessarily, as much as the entire Crazy Taxi-esque mechanic itself has just aged rather poorly. I personally feel that games have moved on from this. It was probably a little bit dated when it was brought out as a mechanic and an entire game style, where you just want something a bit more. As I've said, it is a fun little arcade style game, best played in short bursts because you're not going to want to sit and play it for hours on end, I dare say. And it's not too expensive to pick up either. So if you want to get it for your collection, it is certainly not a bad buy. For the price that you can pick this up for, there's a lot worse out there. But I dare say, once you've played it a few times, long term, it's probably just going to sit on your shelf. Unless you've got a buddy who really likes to come round and play with you in co-op multiplayer for 20 minutes, half an hour, whenever he comes round, and you can have a bit of a laugh with it. Maybe turn it into a drinking game. That's not a bad idea. Honestly, my advice is, if you want it for your collection, pick it up. Just set your expectations at a reasonable level. However, if you're only looking to add 1 or 2 Simpsons games to your collection, Hit and Run is by far and away the best you can do, and a very close second is the Simpsons game itself. And hopefully, if I've done things right, you'll see a link here and here to both of my videos on those. So why not check them out? Let me know your thoughts on Simpsons Road Rage in the comments, and as always, I'll see you soon. Ta-da for now.